G'day guys, how you going? Welcome to another video on My Blue Heaven. This is an historical video and I hope you enjoy it. I'll put a little bit of time into this, not too much time, but a little bit of time into it. So just to make sure that I'm feeling like the part in this video, I've tried to find the oldest Carlton cap that I had. I'm not saying I've got a collection, but there are a lot of caps sort of floating around in different areas of the house. And I found one from 2013. I'm sure I've got older ones than that. Remember that, the I am Carlton slogan. So I'm going to pop that on for this video. And as the thumbnail and title suggest, it is a top 10 list from our football club. And you don't need to be reminded about this, but it's fact, given it's the 30th anniversary, 30th anniversary celebration, or we might even say it's a bit of a commiseration, really, considering it is now 30 years since we saluted in the last day of September. I thought I might do a few lists celebrating or commiserating that 30 year. But I've just got this funny feeling, guys, now. It's just been a disastrous start to the year, hasn't it? Fuck our football club, man. Like, we just can't seem to stay out of trouble. Oh my God. And it's been a disastrous start to the year, from the president through to the injury to Nick Newman, the continued concerns surrounding Sam Walsh, and I don't know, just the talk and the mood and the pessimism related to the 5-year contract for Adam Chera. It just feels like we can't stay out of the news. But I just get this feeling that this could be the year, guys. This could be the year. I'm not saying it is going to be the year, but I don't know. I hope it is anyway. So I'm going to do some lists, top 10 lists. So let's start with this one, because I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this. Going back through every draft since 1995, since we won that premiership. And this is the top 10 players that have been drafted to our football club. They had to have been drafted, not traded, drafted to our club. They could have been drafted to our club, then gone and played at another club and still make this list. So these are the top 10 players. And there have been hundreds of players that have been drafted to our club since 1995. And you would think, given our lack of success and only a few little sort of momentums where we played finals and looked like we were getting somewhere, including now, it's been lean picking. So you would think there's been more misses than hits in that time. I'm not going to go through every player that was drafted to our club, but there have been some absolute doozies in that time. So right back to 1995 AFL draft, after we won that flag, right until now. Unfortunately, anyone probably post 219, 220 is not going to make that list. But if we go right back to 1995, guys, after we won that flag, our first pick in that draft, and this is where I think we took our eye off the ball. We became a little bit complacent and very arrogant, and we didn't embrace the draft. Our first pick in the 1995 draft after we won the flag wasn't until pick 62. And the last pick we've had, last year, was the rookie draft with Harry Charlton. So all the players in between. Just on our pick 62, our first pick in that 1995 AFL draft, his name was Adrian Burden. And we picked him up from the... and when I research this, I just can't recall the name at all. Adrian Burden, pick 62 from the Tassie Mariners. And I did a bit of research on him. He was a highly rated youngster. Was all Australian Teal Cup, all that type of stuff. Came across with a pretty decent reputation and spent, I think, just the 1 year at Princes Park, played the whole year in the reserves, and I think they either delisted him or he went back home. Did not play one senior game. And his nickname was Hoyts. Now, I hope his nickname was a product of him being at Carlton, because when I heard that nickname, Hoyts, I thought, gee, that's an unusual nickname. Where did that come from? So I did a bit more research. And the reason why he was called Hoyts is because he was a stocky, like a really big boy, but stocky, and had quite a large ass. So when he wore white shorts, it looked like that you could actually project a film from his backside. And he was given, he was given the nickname by the players at Carlton. He was given the nickname Hoyts Burden. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? All right. As I said, I'm not going to go through every player that we drafted, just the top 10 who I think, okay? Is there any controversies? As usual, guys, please jump in, okay, in the comments below. Rearrange my top 10, chuck in someone else who I might have missed out, okay? So these are the guys who are going to get an honourable mention but didn't make my top 10. Jared Waite, father and son, 201. Pretty bloody good player. Brett Thornton, rookie listed, 2001. Andrew Walker, unlucky maybe, pick 2 in the 203 draft. Carrots Carazzo, rookie, 203. Michael Jamison, very good defender, 207 rookie draft. Controversial maybe, Matthew Cruiser. And Bryce Gibbs didn't make mine, pick 1 and pick 1 in 2006 and 2007 respectively. Definitely both of those deserve an honourable mention. Dennis Armfield, the steak knives, and the Chris Judd trade, pick 46 in 207. Forged out a really good career, now coaching Bacchus Marsh in the Ballarat Football League. Chris Yarran, highly talented. Just a delight to watch when he was on song. Pick number 6 in the 2008 draft. Mitch Robertson played over 100 games for us. Pick 40 in 208. Jeff Garlett, another Indigenous boy who just appeared to have everything. Pick 6 in the rookie draft, 209. Big Meat Casbolt, pick 44 in the rookie draft, 210. Zach Tui, rookie draft, pick 73, 210. Ed Curnow, great stalwart of the football club, pick 18, rookie draft, 211. A little bit later on, Jack Silvani, still playing, father and son. Pick 53, 205, now played over 100 games. And to be eligible for this, you probably would have had to have played 100 games unless you were just extraordinary. Zach Fisher played 100 games for us, pick 27 and 216. Unfortunately, Tom DeConning, who's 217, hasn't played 100 games yet, pick 30. You'll probably think, if he keeps tracking the way he is, yeah, he could be, although will he be at our football club? Who knows? Okay, so there's some of the honourable mentions. And then these players post 2019, do you think any of these are going to be absolute stars for our football club and players that will play, between 150 and 200 games? We hope so. So the following: Brody Kemp, Corey Durden, Jesse Motlop, Matthew Cottrell, Ollie Hollins, Lockie Cowan, Jackson Binns, Harry Lemmy, Hudson O'Keefe, Alex Chincotta, Ashton Moyer, Billy Wilson, the 2 Irish boys, Rob Monahan, Matt Duffy, Cooper Lord, Jagger Smith, Harry O'Farrell, Ben and Lucas Camporelli, and I mentioned Harry Charlson just before. Okay, so let's get started on our top 10 players drafted to our football club since our last premiership in 1995. All right. Where is this list? I had it here somewhere. Okay. Coming in at number 10, Big Red, Lance Whitnell. 1996 father and son, and I think behind Stephen Silvani, the best father and son product we've ever had. The son of Graham Whitnell, who was pretty much a fringe player at our club, and it was before, to be eligible to be father and son, your dad had to have played 100 games. It was before that. So we got Lance Whitnell as a father and son. Now, some may say, Bryce Gibbs or Matthew Cruiser deserves to be in this top 10. Well, I think otherwise. This bloke sits in the top 10 in the history of our goal kickers, the history of the football club, 216 games, 348 goals it's funny to say a mobile forward, because he wasn't particularly athletic, but he was just had such a good football mind and natural footballer, kicked on both sides of his body, had a vice-like grip in the air, could make space, and was just a terrific footballer. For 10 years, his career, I wouldn't say it was cut short, but it certainly ended because of that lack of athleticism, had problems keeping the weight off. But he forged out a really good career, played in the losing 1999 grand final, made his debut at 17 years of age, captained the club in 2007, All-Australian in 2000, and best and fairest in 2006. So coming in at number 10 on this list is Big Red Lance Whitnell. A current day player comes in at number 9, and I'm projecting a little bit here, but although he is 27 years of age, like, geez, time flies. It just flies, guys. Fuck, you click your fingers and it's just gone, that time. So pick number 10 in the 2015 draft at the start of the rebuild, Harry Mackay comes in at number 9. 128 games, 252 goals. And you would think if he remains healthy that tally is going to go up probably above 400 by the end of his career. Coleman medalist in 2021, All-Australian 2021, and 3 times Carlton leading goal kicker, Harry Mackay at number 9. Coming in at number 8, another current player. A bit of a trend here, guys. And this isn't, don't get me wrong, this isn't recency bias at all. I thought long and hard about this. This isn't recency bias, but what you're seeing here is a bit of a trend here in this top 10. I'll get to that at the end. Sam Walsh at number 8. Could have been higher. If he'd had just an unbelievable year last year, I probably would have had him higher. But there are just slight concerns. But I've got him in at number 8. Pick 1, 2018. He's a star, this guy. He's a star. 119 games, 42 goals, All-Australian in 2021. Best and fairest 2021. Gary Ayres medal. I think that holds a fair bit of credence there, that Gary Ayres medal in that final series. He was just superb. An AFL Rising Star winner in 2019 and the current vice-captain of our football club, Sam Walsh, in at number 8. Number 7. Arguably the best small forward this club has ever produced in its history, Eddie Betts. Now, may have been, if he'd remained at Carlton, who knows if he'd remained at Carlton, how good his career would have been. Would have it been as good as it had been if he'd gone to Adelaide? Because there's no doubt he was a better footballer at Adelaide, or he had more of an impact. Although in his time at Carlton, 2 stints, it was his first stint where he really made an impact. 218 games and 330 goals to sit 11th on our all-time goal-kicking tally. And easily the best small forward that this club has ever produced. But I did look at Rod Ashman's stats, who was about the same size as Eddie Betts. He played in the 70s and early 80s and was a 3-4-time premiership player. And he probably played more as a midfielder, Rod Ashman, but he kicked 370 goals, Rod Ashman, in his career. 370 goals. Anyway, 2 times leading goal kicker, Eddie Betts, for our football club and goal of the year, but never won an All-Australian in his time at Carlton. And he won 3 at Adelaide, where he played 132 games and kicked 310 goals, but he slips in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, another current day player, Jacob Wiedering. There's been some great key defenders in my time following this club, right back to the great Jeff Southey and then Stephen Silvani. But you'd have to say that Jacob Wiedering, the way he's tracking, that he's going to be right up there. Like right up there, maybe not with the same accolades as Stephen Silvani, but definitely, you know, one of the great key defenders this club has ever produced. And probably the only thing that's missing now is that team success for someone like Jacob Wiedering. Picked number 1 in the 2015 draft. Now played 181 games and only kicked the 11 goals, but He is a defender and a bloody good one at that. And probably should have more than the one All-Australian, which he got last year, won 2 best and fairest, and the current vice captain of our football club. Coming in at number 6, Jacob Wiedering. Coming in at number 5, I reckon this is just about right. Just about right in the middle. And you just can't, you can't discredit this bloke, and that's Cade Simpson. Pick 45 when we were just I'm not saying crucified, but we that period with the salary cap breaches and just being penalised like we did, and we plucked this skinny kid out from where was he from? Fucking Warrandyte or somewhere. And pick 45 in the 202 draft, with the only real live pick that we had in that draft. And to think that he would go on and play 342 games and be the third most capped player at our football club in its history, and also kick 138 goals, best and fairest winner in 2013, and a career spanning 18 seasons from 203 to 220, Cade Simpson could have even been higher. He could play. You don't spend that much time in the system if you can't play. He was an exceptionally good player, but just played at the club at the wrong time. But yeah, I like him at number 5 on this list. At number 4, I've gone Mark Murphy. Maybe a little bit high for some of you, but it is very best, and I'm talking in the period when he was around about 22, 23 years of age, where he was, I think, one of the best midfielders in the competition, if not the best. He could seriously play the game. And I think what happens with someone like Mark Murphy, his last 50 games and the last part of his career in a really difficult time for the club, where he just sort of limped to the line, it gets clouded a little bit, and we were so poor, probably when he was captain as well, 2013 to 2018. It was just such a hard time for the club, and he gets kicked up the arse for that. But the guy could seriously play. Pick 1 in 205. We had a spate of first-round draft picks over the course of 3 seasons, 300 games, 197 goals. The big one here is the AFL Coaches Association Player of the Year in 2011, All-Australian in 2011, and a couple of best and fairest. At number 4, I've got Mark Murphy. Number 3, this guy's just on pure freakness. He's got a good record. He's starting to build a real record. I hope it can continue. But this is just pure freakness. Is Charlie Curnow. Is it too high? Number 3, 131 games, missed a chunk of football, across a sort of like a 2-year period. Couldn't get him on the park, but it's kicked 281 goals. Pick 12 in the 2015 draft. What a pickup that's been. You look at this list I've compiled here. There's 3 players from that 2015 draft on this list. 2-time All-Australian, 2-time Coleman medalist, 4-time Carlton leading goal kicker, most consecutive games ever in the history of the club to kick a goal, like the most consecutive games to kick a goal. And this is like the modern game where it's difficult for goal kickers. That's an incredible stat. He just has an impact, and I know I've questioned him at times in regards to having huge impacts in big games, but you can't deny how good this guy is on his day. That is Charlie Curnow coming in at number 3, the current vice captain. At number 2, I've got Big Fev. The record speaks for itself, and unfortunately he didn't finish his career at our football club. He went off to Brisbane and played 17 games and kicked 48 goals at the Lions. His career was somewhat marred with indiscretions and controversies off the field, but when he played, he was a fucking freak. Pick 38 in 1998, 187 games for our football club and 575 goals. Number 3 on our goal kicking tally, behind Stephen Kernahan and the great Soapy Valance. That is some sort of record. Two-time Coleman medalist. Should have kicked 100. Should have kicked 100. I was at that game. Fuck, I was at that game. Anyway, 7-time Carlton leading goal kicker and 3-time All-Australian Brendan Favola. Absolute freak show. One of the best kicks you'd ever want to see. Could just do anything on his day. Like he was an excitement machine. And you all picked it, guys. Patrick Cripps at number 1. Pick 13 in the 2013 draft. 207 games thus far. Current captain. 113 goals. 2-time Brownlow medalist. 5-time Best and Fairest winner. 4-time All-Australian and the Lee Matthews Trophy. In his cabinet as well, the great Patrick Cripps. And I've said it, and I'll say it again, you know, like a premiership, just a premiership for him will just top up arguably the greatest player to ever put on a Carlton jumper. And I don't mean that, like I seriously believe that. That's how good he has been. So we have, let's just quickly count. I'll just go Lance Whitnell, Harry, Sam Walsh, Eddie Betts at 7, Wiedering 6, Kate Simpson 5, Mark Murphy, Charlie Curnow 3, Brendan Favola 2, and Patrick Cripps at 1. And we've got in there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 current day players in that list. That, to me, that says something about, fuck, we need to strike. And we need to strike over the next year or two because, yeah, we've got some seriously good, more than good, seriously great footballers at our football club right now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to put out another list shortly. Speak soon.